Welcome to my channel. Today continue your chapter, your next paragraph. That was all no matter what anybody happened to be talking about. Once it was his own son, Eric, running 8 blocks to the barber shop, where his father was having his mustache trimmed to tell him their house was on fire. This man Khorsov sat up in a chair and roared, "It is no harm, pay no attention to it." The barber said, "But the boy says your house is on fire." So Khorsov roared, "Enough, it is no harm, I say." Explanation of this paragraph. Uncle Khorsov was always this rigid no matter who happened to be talking about in front of him. Once his own son Arik came running to him when he was getting his mustache trimmed at the barber shop. He told him the house was on fire, to which he roared and said the same dialogue. Barber was amused and tried to talk to him about it, but as usual, Khorsov roared again and did not pay attention to it. And then next paragraph. My cousin Murad was considered the natural descendant of this man, although Murad's father was Johrab, who was practical and nothing else. That's how it was in our tribe. A man could be the father of his son's place, but that did not mean that he was also the father of his spirit. The distribution of the various kind of spirit of our tribe had been from the beginning capricious. Capricious means inconsistent change of mood, and vagrant. Vagrant means a person without a settled home or work. We rode, and my cousin Murad sang for all anybody knew. We were in the in the old country, where at least according to some of our neighbors we belonged. We let the horse run as long as it felt like a running. Explanation of these lines. Murad was considered to be a natural descendant of this man, but he was not his son. His father was Joram, who was a practical person. A child could look like his father, but doesn't mean he gets his nature and attitude just the same. There are different kinds of people in their tribes, moody and without any settlement, work or home. They were still riding the horse, and Murad was still singing aloud, loudly. They were still in the countryside where, according to their neighbors, they belonged to. Okay, your next paragraph. At last, my cousin Murad said, "Get down. I want to ride alone, or will you let me ride alone?" I asked. Murad asked him to get down as he wanted to ride alone. Arm asked if he could ride the horse alone. He said it is up to the horse if he wants to ride you along, and asked him to get Murad down again. That is up to the horse. My cousin said, "Get down. The horse will let me ride." I said, "We shall be." He said, "Don't forget that I have a way with the horse." "Well," I said, "anyway, you have with the horse. I have also." "For the sake of your safety," he said, "let us hope so. Get down." "All right," I said, "but remember, you have got to let me try to ride alone." I got down, and my cousin Murad kicked his heels into the horse and shouted, "Wazir, a run." The horse stood on its hind legs and snorted and brushed into a furious speed that was the loveliest thing I had ever seen. My cousin Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass to an irrigation ditch, crossed the ditch on the horse, and 5 minutes later returned dripped wet. Uh, Aram tried to convince him that the horse would let him ride, to which Murad said that we shall see, and told Aram that he had a way with the horse. Aram told him that he had it too. Murad told him to get down and said, it is for his own safety. Let us hope so. Aram got down while telling him that he will ride the horse alone. Murad kicked his heels in the horse and shouted, run to him. The horse stood on its front legs, breathed out, and ran into a speed. Murad raced the horse across a field of dry grass and irrigation ditch. When they arrived, 5 minutes later, they were wet. Next paragraph, the sun was coming up. Now it is my turn to ride, I said. My cousin Murad got off the horse. Ride, he said. I leaped to the back of the horse and for a moment knew the most awful fear imaginable. The horse did not move. The sun was almost up, and Arm told him it was his turn to ride. Murad got off, and Arm sat on the horse. He was fearful, and the horse did not move. I kicked into his muscles. My cousin Murad said, what are you waiting for? We have got to take him back before everybody in the world is up and about. I kicked into the muscle of the horse once again. It reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. He was fearful, and the horse did not move. Murad tried to guide him by saying that he should try to kick into his muscles and told him that he should hurry because they need to take him back before everyone was awake up. And I kicked the muscles of the horse. Once again, I reared and snorted. Then it began to run. I didn't know what to do. Instead of running across the field to the irrigation ditch, the horse ran down the road to the vineyard of the Deccan Halivan, where it began to leap over veins. The horse leaped over 7 veins before I fell. Then it continued running. The horse began to run, and didn't know what to do next. The horse started going towards the road that leads to the vineyard of the Deccan Helivans. It began to move. Our veins and arms fell down. The horse continued to run, and Murad came running down the road towards him. My cousin Murad came running down the road. I am not worried about you, she shouted. We have got to get that horse. You go this way, and I will go this way. If you come upon him, be kindly, I will be near. Murad told him that he is not worried about him, but they need to find the horse. They both went different ways to find him. He instructed Aram to be kind if he saw him anywhere. Okay, your next paragraph and your last paragraph of today. I continued on the road, and my cousin Murad went across the field towards the irrigation ditch. I told him half an hour to find the horse and bring him back. All right, he said, jump on. The whole world is awake now. Oh, what will we do? I said. Well, he said, we will either take him back or ride him until tomorrow morning. He didn't sound worried, and I knew he would hide him and not take him back. Not for a while, at any rate. Where will we hide him? I said. I know a place, he said. He long ago. And did you steal this horse? I said. I suddenly dawned on me that he had been taking these early morning rides for some time and had come for me this morning. Only because he knew how much I longed to ride. Dawn means a weird explanation of these lines. Looked for the horse down the road, and Murad went towards the irrigation ditch. He came back after 30 minutes with the horse. He told him to jump over as the whole world was awake by then. Asked what would they do now, to which Murad told him about two options: take him back or hide him until tomorrow. Murad was not worried, and knew that Murad would hide him somewhere and not take him back for a while. Asked him where Murad would hide him. Murad told him about a place he knew which would be perfect as a hidden spot. Eagerly asked him when he stole the horse. It appeared to him that Murad had been taking the horse for morning rides for quite some time, and he showed to this morning to ask to ride along because he knew he was longing to ride one. Okay, student. I hope you understand these paragraphs, and next lecture for tomorrow.